Video, would you mind just stating your name?
My real name?
Whatever
Or the name
you
that
want.
I'm known by. There's the thing.
Laura was telling me about this.
I'm out Christopher Tiny Milano, but no one ever knew me other than Tiny Milano. A little bit of history. I'm one of 7 children. I was born right here in Yonkers. I was raised on Park Hill Avenue. Finally, I went to Gorton High School. Graduated in 1954. I was supposed to graduate, but I didn't because in 1953, 10 of my friends and myself were enlisted in the Army during the Korean conflict. We went in together, but they separated us. So Ada Els went to Korea and the rest of us had to go to occupied Germany. And that's where I spent 2 years in occupied Germany. It was during the time of the Berlin Wall. Half belonged to Russia and half belonged to America, and that's why we had to occupy it. The people, half of them hated us and half of them loved us. But we had a job to do, so we did it. I raced professionally for 35 years after I came out of the Army, and I went to work for Otis Elevator until Otis Elevator closed, and then I worked in the Department of Correction as a correction officer for the remainder until I retired. I retired in 1997. I became active in several senior centers. Became active in my veterans post, and eventually I became a volunteer in the Montrose, Castle Point, and New York State Nursing Home for the veterans, which I'm still involved in. I really am dedicated to doing that because a lot of people ask me, why do you spend so much time doing for the veterans? And I said, well, I was one of the ones that came home safe. And if you see those fellas in hospitals and nursing homes, you'll understand. Unfortunately, the American public doesn't see that. And along the line, they forget the veterans. And you can tell that by Veterans Day, when they have the parades, there's hardly anybody there. But come St. Patrick's Day, they're out by the millions. But the veterans, and it's a shame because all the things they have in this country today are due to the veterans from all the wars. Coming home, well, you're excited, but you really don't hit any excitement till you see the Statue of Liberty. Then they pulled into a port in Brooklyn, and there were a sea of mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, and I was standing up on the rail, and I knew that we lived in Yonkers, and I knew we didn't have, and the family didn't have a car at that time, back in the 50s, and I knew there was no way anyone would be there for me. But it's simply amazing. You can look into a crowd of thousands of people, and I picked out my mother, and she took 2 trolley cars and about 4 trains to get down to Brooklyn just to see me for 5 minutes. And it was really a thrill. When you come home, you have to start all over again. You really can't pick up where you left off. I mean, even the streets changed when you come home, and buildings changed, and cars changed, and everything changed. You've taken 2 years, 2.5 years out of your life of being home, and things just progress along in life, and you have to come back and start all over again. Well, what upsets me is these kids coming home, they should have their job back that they left, and they don't. Very few of them do. You would be absolutely amazed how many homeless veterans have come back from Iraq, how many families have been torn apart because of that. that's one of the things I do. I go around collecting clothes, and I bring it up to the hospitals, and they have a clothing room which allows these veterans to go to and receive clothes. When the veteran comes home, there is no thanks to them. There's no glory for them. There's no nothing. They come home, and if their family's not there, nobody's there. These kids are giving up their lives. They're giving up so much, and they're just not being respected.
If you had the chance to go back and do it all over again, would you?
Definitely. Definitely. No doubt in my mind, any of the men that were in there with me, about 3 of us are alive, the rest have passed away. I don't think any one of them would tell you, no, I wouldn't do it again. There's no such thing as you can't help. You can always go to any veterans organization, you can always go to any veterans hospital, any veterans nursing home, and they're more than willing to accept any help. The door is always open, but people don't go to that door. And they say, well, I don't know what to do, so they just don't bother. They don't bother asking, how can I do it? How can I help? And it's amazing how thrill a veteran coming home to see people there meeting them and caring about them. Most of these kids come home, they get off the plane or get off the boat, and there's nobody there but their own immediate family. And it's something that the American public should be ashamed of.
This is cute. Alrighty.
That's real sharp. Why buy a hat if you're going to put it on backwards? I could never understand. And these yo-yos running around with their pants half down, I'd like to really whack them real good in their rear end, but I'd end up in jail. I don't want to hear that.
yeah, we do. We're probably.
Holy mackerel, I seen 3 heads bobbing up and down. Oh, I got bobbles here sitting on the dashboard.